Hello. I've gotten a good amount of questions about how I made these 3D models of the Formula One circuits. So I'm just going to go ahead and go through an example, and I'm going to go ahead and recreate the circuit of the Americas. So I used OpenStreetMaps, which is an open source project. So I got to thank everyone who's contributed to it. And what I did was found the circuit I wanted to make. Like I said, I'm going to go ahead and recreate the circuit of the Americas. So I found it in OpenStreetMap, and I have a wonderful export or share function that we're going to use. I'm going to choose custom dimensions, which pretty much just sets the area that we want to include. Like we said, we just care about this outline, and I'm going to export it as a PDF. Even though I'm going to use a vector editor as Inkscape, I'm not going to use SVG. I've had problems with their SVG, so I'm going to go ahead and use a PDF. And then I'm going to go ahead and download it. And once it's downloaded, we will go ahead and open up Inkscape, the vector editor. So I'm going to go to File, and then just open up the PDF we just downloaded. Just going to increase the precision of the file. Should take about a second to open up, and here we go. I just switched over to this, Edit Paths by Nodes, or the F2 key, and then you can see we only care about this pink area right here, which is this path. So I'm going to click one of these red lines, then select same, fill, and stroke, and you can see it selects everything. So I'm going to go ahead and take that, just cut it, select everything else, and just delete it. And then I'm just going to go ahead and paste that back in. And then again, I only care about the outline of the entire circuit, so I'm going to get rid of this, and my files don't have the fit lanes, so just go ahead and get rid of that too. I'm going to go ahead and group this to be more manipulable, and then I'm going to create the this white area in the background, the page, artboard, whatever you want to call it, and simulate my print bed, which is 8 inches by 8 inches. Perfect. And then I'm going to start to manipulate the size of this, so that way it's what we want in terms of size. So I'm going to go to Object, we're going to need Transform, we're going to need Align, Distribute, and we're going to need Fill and Stroke. So I've got this whole thing selected. I'm just going to go to the Align tab relative to the page and just center it out. And then I'm going to click the entire page again. Oops, I just ungrouped it. Gonna group it again. There we go. And then I'm going to transform the size of it. I'm going to go to the Scale tab, change it to inches, scale it proportionally, and then again, we're going to call this a 8 by 8 print bed. So I'm just going to go ahead and scale it down so it would fit nicely on the print bed, and obviously you can rotate it however you would like. I'm just going to keep it in this orientation right here. And then I'm going to change the line thickness. So I'm going to have to go back here, select same, fill and stroke, and then I'm going to go to the stroke style and change the width of each of these lines. 3 millimeters is what I used. Obviously that's purely preference. And now what I'm going to do is, again, select all of them and then make it a stroke to path, and you kind of see what that does right there is it outlines that stroke we just did and creates these individual lines. One more thing before we export, again, select them all, and then I'm just going to go to path and choose the union option. That'll make it one nice outline of the track, and that's exactly what we're looking for. It's looking nice, so now I'm going to go ahead and export this as a DXF. So just go to File, Save As, DXF. These are the options I found work best. I forget what's default. Don't forget to set the units to whatever we're doing, and then select OK. And then once that's done, I'm going to go ahead and go to my CAD software. I'm sure whether you're using Fusion 360, Onshape, or SolidWorks like I am, it'll have an option to import a DXF, which is exactly what I'm going to do here. Just going to go to Open. If you're going to use SolidWorks like me, you'll have to change this to have all files, so that way it shows a DXF. I'm going to import it as a sketch. That's exactly what we're looking for. We used inches. I'm going to import the dimensions, and we're not going to change anything here, but I'm just going to go ahead and finish it off. SolidWorks will import this as a model right here. That's exactly what we're looking for. looks good to me. Sometimes some of these lines will just be missing and you just have to sketch them back in. But this one's looking perfect, so I'm just going to go ahead and extrude this out. Select this body right here. Perfect. Oops. Yep, there we go. And 5 millimeters is what I did. And then select it. And now we've got our 3D model of our track. Perfect. Then from here, I just save it as a STL file. Yep. And then we should have our STL file, which should be ready to print. So that's pretty much what I did for every single track. If it's a street circuit, those were a little bit more difficult. Obviously, you just kind of have to find the area in OpenStreetMaps and select the streets that make up the circuit. But otherwise, it's a pretty simple process. Thanks to the people who contribute to OpenStreetMaps. So thanks, everyone.